Why are we continually treating to the dictates of our perceived ideologies of what insurance covers? It's so amazing to me how we can be so selective with some things we do in dentistry and charge the patient for directly, but heaven forbid that we actually charge the patient for other services, non-covered services, non-billable, non-payable. Look, folks, if insurance doesn't pay for it, that doesn't mean you do it for free. We begin our podcast right there.
Welcome, all of you fantastic dental podcast listeners, to the My Practice, My Business Dental Podcast Show, where we help dentists profit and thrive with excerpts from the clinical business of dentistry training here at My Practice, My Business. We'll be addressing and answering questions with current trends dentists and their teams face each and every day in their pursuit of this wonderful career we call dentistry. And now the host of our show, the clinical director and president at My Practice, My Business, Dr. Rob Thorup.
Dental insurance plans don't pay for tooth whitening, yet most dental offices charge the patient for it directly. The same applies to electric toothbrushes. In addition, most dental insurance plans, they don't pay for dental implants, and yet every office seems to charge for those products and services, right? In those three examples that I just listed, you wouldn't think of not charging the patient for those services. Am I wrong? No. So in contrast, very few dental offices charge for local anesthetic, oral facial images, pulp vitality tests, and yet you should charge for them. There are costs of goods combined with overhead associated with those services, if I'm correct. Of course, I'm being facetious and joking. This ultimately means, though, that you're losing money every time you don't bill for those procedures. And no business in this world runs like that. And neither should any dental practice. The majority of dental teams have been convinced that if dental insurance won't pay for it, they have to write it off. And heaven forbid that you actually charge the patient directly for services the PPO plan won't cover. I learned many years ago never to treat the PPO patient to their insurance plan. Imagine doing an anterior case from tooth 4 to tooth 13. You want the best for that PPO patient. I know all of you do. And you want that smile to really pop beautifully, naturally, normally, with translucency and slight color variations from the middle third to the incisal third, and maybe some I1 incisal edging and some small portions of chalky white just to mimic what they had before. And maybe they even insisted that they have that on their new teeth, right? Will the $100 a unit lab be able to follow those requests? No. You're going to have to run with the high-end lab to put some time into doing that, or you're going to have to put time into it if you have a CEREC or any other CAD-CAM-based unit. Either way, to accomplish these lifelike crowns, you're going to need to go with the more expensive technology, whether in the lab or in your office. And your patient is insured. The plan states that you have to charge the contracted amount regardless of the maximums met. And the reimbursement fee, let's just say, is $650 per crown. But what if that lab fee is $285 per unit, or the equivalent in CAD-CAM fees? You see, everybody forgets to add in that payment for the CAD-CAM technology to the overhead. And you're not going to be profitable. It's that simple on that patient. Anyone who looks at their overhead understands the lack of profitability, or worse, the fact that you are paying for your patient's dental care. Every or nearly every procedure should be able to stand on its own when it comes to profitability. But with PPO plans, they don't. This has become nearly impossible with PPO reimbursement rates and the cost of doing business within the dental industry. Most dentists will do one of two things when it comes to crown procedures. First, they routinely order a cheap crown to increase profitability, or two, they eat the cost of the better crown with that PPO patient. Neither of these options sounds very good to me, but could there be a better way? It's actually right in your contract. Little did you know, you can still give your patient the beautiful crown they want and deserve and be paid fairly for your work. Your contract will allow you to charge a cosmetic fee payable by the patient. It's right in your contract. You know, that contract that you have read cover to cover, or maybe you just haven't read, right? And if we can charge for whitening and electric toothbrushes, why don't we charge extra for better materials? If given the choice, your patient would likely be willing to pay an additional fee for that better crown. In fact, over 99% of our patients choose the better crown every time. It's just a matter of educating the patient and understanding your PPO contract and the plans that you have signed up for. So why won't insurances pay? Every time I talk about any value-added service with dental team members, I almost always hear the question, will dental insurance pay for it? Dental insurance plans will never pay for any additional value-added services, let alone many procedures that are actually listed on the fee schedule because they are considered non-covered services. The premiums paid out by your patient's place of work or by the patients themselves are simply not high enough for the dental insurance plan to cover dental procedures at a price point that is high enough for you to even break even. Don't even think about making a profit with traditional thought leadership with current billing practices. Most dental offices treat according to perceived insurance regulations. And what this means is that they only charge for what the insurance is willing to pay. So either the dentist is losing money by providing the best products and materials, or the patient isn't receiving the best quality work because the doc is compelled to buy the cheapest crowns and the cheapest material. Sounds kind of like a lose-lose situation to me. I think we need to stop working for free. You need an oral facial image to prove the need for treatment, right? Yet the insurance plan won't pay for it. Oh, Rob, it only takes a few minutes to take a photo. Why would I charge for it? Get that all the time, right? Well, let's see. That camera wasn't free, was it? They're pretty expensive. And the operatory wasn't free, was it? You don't work for free. Does the rest of your team work for free, or do you work for free? The patient comes in for a limited exam. You smooth off a fractured tooth that's cutting into the patient's tongue. You do a pulp test on it. You take a bite wing and periapical x-ray on it. You take maybe an intraoral photo of it. I just listed 6 codes you can actually use on this visit, and yet the patient's insurance will typically only pay for one of those codes, maybe 2. So you write off the rest, or worse, you don't even code the work you just did. In this example, you just treated your patient to the dictates of the insurance perceived ideologies. Those ideologies that are perceived by you, your front office team members, insurance reps, who don't even know the contract themselves. Yet you could have charged for all of them if you knew how to do so, but hey, since the insurance isn't going to pay for it, why would you even think about charging for what you just did? Let me ask you a question. Would medical charge for all those codes? Of course they would. And they do every day. Medical bills for everything. And yet dentists are made to feel guilty to charge for their services, right? This is a bigger problem than anyone wants to admit, let alone change. Is there a solution? Dental teams, do you realize you are conditioning your patient to receive free dentistry at your office every time you treat to the insurance? Forget the value-added services we just discussed earlier. We're talking about codes you actually contracted with and that you can charge for. And just because a patient's dental plan won't pay for it, you should not write them off. When you do, you're playing right into the hands of the dental insurance companies, giving them the fuel that they need to call a code non-billable, let alone not covered, non-payable, non-deliverable, nonsensed. God, if we see one more change in a contract that we signed years ago, I'm just going to come unglued. Would medical write-off procedures at will? Nope. You would get a bill in the mail right after your medical insurance paid their portion, and sometimes before. Medical facilities now require patients to pay their deductible and copay prior to rendering services. And the more you educate your patients about this, the easier it is to not feel guilty for charging them for the dentistry that you provide. There are costs to running your business. There are codes, descriptions, and fees for what you do. And if insurance isn't going to pay for it, you shouldn't have to eat the costs. Let me just share with you. You've never had to eat those costs if you understood how to push back with the contracts you signed. Stop conditioning your patients to receive free dentistry. Stop believing the antiquated teachings from consultants and others who have never read a contract, let alone they don't understand the state laws that you reside in. You didn't go to dental school, pay all that tuition, make all those sacrifices just to be taken advantage of. If dental insurance doesn't pay for it, charge the patient. It's really that simple. It's easy to do. You do not have to give services away. If you need help in learning how to implement the things that I've just discussed, you owe it to yourself and your dental team to take our training courses here at My Practice, My Business. Visit our website, listen to the testimonials, surf the content of our training programs within our website, and then just sign up for our guaranteed training programs. It'll be the very best business decision that you're ever going to make in your dental career. That I promise you. And if you can't make it out here to Salt Lake City for the Clinical Business of Dentistry team training, not a problem. We finally have our team training virtual. That's right. You can actually take the 4-week self-paced course and be able to complete the guaranteed Clinical Business of Dentistry team training right in the confines of your own office. And we're excited to be able to provide that for all the offices out there. We get it. It's a lot of money to bring your team out here, and we have been working our guts out for the last year to make it as perfect and as efficient as possible in the team training, but we also wanted to make it very effective. So I know a lot of you have been waiting for that to happen, and please forgive us that it has taken so long. It's kind of like when Walt Disney had the animatronics Abe Lincoln at the World Fair, and it just wasn't quite working right, and he wouldn't show it until it was perfect. Well, we have that same thought leadership here. We just wanted to make sure that it was as close to perfect as possible so that everybody can learn and understand the business principles that we're teaching. So team training is now virtual. We hope you take it either here in Salt Lake or you sign up for it online. Thank you so much for all of you being here with us today, and I hope this has been a very helpful podcast. Have a fantastic day.
Thank you for being with us today. Since 2006, My Practice, My Business has been teaching dentists and their teams business skills, dental insurance contractual protocols, and state laws governing how to profitably bill patients fairly for the need-based services they provide. What's more, we guarantee our training, unlike other dental consulting companies in the industry. Simply stated, if you don't increase your net revenue, we don't get paid. We call it dental consulting the way it should be. We believe there has never been a more important time than now for dentists to experience and implement our key methods, knowledge, and business training within their dental practices. To learn more about our guaranteed, no-risk clinical business of dentistry training that is changing dental practices for the better, just go to our website, mypracticemybusiness.com, and surf our pages for additional information about our company and the services we provide. When you're ready, give us a call and get scheduled for the most profitable dental business training that you will ever experience. If you enjoyed our podcast, please leave us a 5-star review. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to call us. Thank you again and have a fantastic day.